Hello, everyone. Welcome to Aligning with Purpose, a podcast where we explore themes of finding your true purpose, from quitting corporate, moving cities, practicing holistic health, and more. Join me as we discover our purposes together. My name is Juli, and I'm so happy you're here. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Today we'll be talking about 7 ways to pick up your vibration when you're feeling low or depleted. I know there's a lot going on in the world around us right now, and it's easy for us to feel low, to feel drained, and these are some small ways where you can reclaim your energy in a micro shift. Of course, it's going to be up to you if you want to implement these things, and no one is going to be forcing you, but in case you need some tips, here's the episode to give you some of those. Before we get into today's podcast episode, I want to talk about our Beauty and Humanity segment, and I had my granny card again on the train, and as I'm leaving the train station, there is a man who is unwell, screaming, yelling, and it felt a little bit unsafe to leave. There was a man who appeared out of nowhere. It seemed like he was sort of directing the traffic to make sure that people wouldn't get near this man. He sees me with my granny cart, and I'm trying to leave the station through a door, but the door's not opening, and he comes in, tries to help open the door. It's locked, so he asks if he can just grab my granny cart, help me lift it over the turnstile so I could get out. And as I'm leaving, he's also protecting me, being like a barrier from this unwell man. And I just leave the station. And I'm looking back on this incident, and it was just such an act of kindness. As a woman, sometimes there are scary incidences. For him to be there during this day was, it felt like I was in good hands, and it just felt like this should also just be the norm. I am not going to place that responsibility on anyone, but as a woman in this world, it feels nice to feel protected in a safe way, in a non-threatening way by good men in this world. By seeing him protect all the people around him was just such a commendable human action. That's my moment from the week. I hope everyone stays safe and is aware of their surroundings. And without further ado, let's get going with this podcast episode. If you're ready to stop looking outside of yourself for the answers and truly decode your unique energetic blueprint, I have something super special for you guys. I've partnered with the incredible Brenda Matosh, the founder of Attuned Guidance. Brenda offers deep dive gene key sessions and also powerful online courses that meet you exactly where you are on your journey. Whether you want to understand why your vibration matters, decode the universe with signs and synchronicities, or do the deep inner work with mirror reflections and mastering your triggers, she has a container right for you. And because you're a listener of the show, Brenda is giving you 40% off any session or course. Just head to attuneguidance.com and use the code YOSHI40, YOSHI 40. It's one use per person, but the code never expires. So go find a course that speaks to your soul today, and the link will be in the bio. You guys, this year has been so go, and it's also been a difficult one. I know I've mentioned this in my last episodes, but there's just been a lot going on with the news, fear-mongering. I know we just had a recent Aries stellium a month-ish ago. There's been a lot of energetic shifts with the timeline splitting, and there's just been continuous momentum with the fire horse year. So a lot happening, and I don't know about you, but I've been waking up feeling so lethargic and drained still. I get my 8 hours of sleep. I've been having a pretty good sleep schedule, but more than ever in 2026, I feel so tired. As soon as I wake up, I just feel like I haven't gotten the full amount of rest that I could have. Even if I've gotten 8 hours of sleep, after I wake up, I just feel like unsatisfied with the amount of rest that I've gotten, and it just carries out throughout the day. I wake up so dehydrated in the mornings, and I just don't know what it is in the air, but I'm sure some of you can relate to feeling really drained or depleted. So I want to talk about how we can manage feeling low, depleted, and to lift our vibration up a little bit more. These are some of the practices that I've been incorporating into my life when I can, and I hope that some of these things can help you too. It's more important than ever to take care of ourselves because it's only going to keep getting crazier and crazier if we don't ground ourselves. So here's some tips, and I'm going to start off with the first one. So before we manage our energy, we have to identify potential energy leaks that we have throughout our day. Is it physical? Is it the lack of rest that we're getting? It could be even constant low-level noise or clutter in your workspace. So for my apartment, something that could be contributing is the constant honking, if you could hear that right now. The second thing could be an emotional leakage. Is it carrying other people's stress or emotions? Are you over-functioning for others, or are you carrying someone else's mood or problem more than you need to? Or the third thing could be a digital energy leakage. For example, scrolling on social media. I have a super bad habit of scrolling, and scrolling during your break is not actually a proper break. So when I'm podcast scripting or when I'm working on my coaching business and I need a little bit of a break, when you decide to scroll during your break, that doesn't actually replenish your energy at all. It only detracts and takes away your energy because you're overstimulating yourself with fragmented information and it's leaving you even more drained, which I definitely feel. And the last energetic leak can be mental. So it can look like open loops in your mind. Are there small unfinished tasks or decisions that are hanging over your head? Your mind could look like so many different tabs open in your internet browser, and that can also be causing a lot of leakage in your energy because you have your mind on so many different things and not clearing things as you go. I am super duper guilty of this. I have so many tabs up on my computer and I definitely have them in my mind too. So I am trying to be better with this, with these things that I'm about to share with you right now. After identifying your energy leakages, you can do a AAA method. So if you have any open loops in your mind, the first thing that you could do is to automate it or act on it. If the task is super small, if it takes you less than 2 minutes to do, then just do it. For example, if it's answering a text or sending a quick email or hanging up some clothing in your room that you just need to do, but it's piling onto the responsibilities that you need to clear, just do it immediately. Those could close the loops that are requiring unnecessary energy from you. If it's a digital, emotional, or relational energy leak, then use the second A, which is going to be adjust your boundaries. Create a boundary for yourself in your screen time and stick to it. For example, for myself, what helps me out is if I notice myself scrolling too much, I'll put my phone in the other room, and this really prevents me from going back to my phone. So I'll put it on a charger in my room, and then I'll be in the living room to work, so I don't have to be distracted by my phone. And then if it's relational or emotional, then you want to recognize what you're carrying of others that isn't actually yours. So let's say you are an empath, and your friend is going through a difficult time, and you feel a lot of her sadness, and you might be mistaking her sadness for your sadness. You could be taking on someone else's sadness, stress, anxiety for your own, and it could be building up in your body. So it's always important to clear that energy and cord cut. You could do this by doing some visualizations, do cord cutting where you clear yourself of that energy and you go on about your day. You can always be supportive without carrying on the mental load for someone. Lastly, if it's unavoidable, the third A is accepting it and then releasing it. Don't resist what you can't control. Maybe it's all the honking in my apartment, right? I can't really control if they're gonna honk. And if I try to control it or if I try to resist it, it's gonna cause me so much more damage. But what I can do is acknowledge it and then do something else that's nourishing. So if I'm spending all day in my apartment and it's going to be noisy, then I could also spend 5 minutes, maybe more than 5 minutes if I'm in my apartment all day. But I can replenish myself by getting outside, going somewhere quiet, and then reading a book and doing something helpful to my mental health. At the end of the day, you have to just honor your low frequency sometimes. You're not always going to be on a high, and that's completely okay. When you fight it, when you're exhausted, you're just going to create more friction for yourself. And that's also not going to be conducive to your low energy that's already there in the first place, right? Sometimes when you want to raise your vibration, it starts with authenticity and meeting yourself where you're already at. It's letting go of the shoulds, the self judgments that you're putting on, and all of that pressure that's accumulating by trying to control the situation. Simply just breathe, be present with yourself, and give yourself grace for not being in a high vibration, because that is also part of the human experience for us to be in a low and understand what that feels like so we could come back stronger and feel the magnificence of the light and the high vibration that we can also be in. The next thing that you could do is making some micro shifts in your environment. So when your surroundings are stagnant, the energy in that space can also become stagnant. And small changes can make a big difference. So if you're in your apartment, it could be opening the window and making sure there's energy and airflow into your space. Or it could be adding a plant in your room. It could be adjusting your furniture and changing the layout of it to better fit feng shui and the flow of the energy in your overall space. There's different things that you could do to really make sure the energy is flowing through and it's not just staying stuck. And energy stagnation can also be something that you feel in your body. When you feel like there's restless or unmoved energy, the thing to do is just to move and get some physical exercise. So even if it's short, maybe it's a 5-minute walk or yoga, stretching, shaking out your limbs, doing some somatic exercises, all those things could really shift around the energy and make you feel a little bit better. I find myself when I'm in the same position for a long time and my energy's not moving, it just adds to the discomfort I'm feeling overall. But when I get just even a 5-minute walk outside or I'm stretching, I feel so much better. So it's definitely something that you can incorporate that could lift you up a little bit. Next, it's going to be important for you to nourish your body when you're feeling stagnant. It's focusing on the basics. So are you getting enough hydration? Are you eating a nutritious meal? It's important to be taking care of your physical health just as much as your energetic field, your mind, your spirit, because everything works all together in line with each other. So make sure that you're taking care of your physical health just as much as your energy when you're doing energetic work. Next, you can also visualize the after your low vibrational state. So by doing a visualization, closing your eyes and being present in your body, instead of focusing on your effort in uplifting yourself, talk about the specific feeling of relief that you're going to have once that energetic shift occurs. So speak in the now, like I feel relief, or I feel elevated and grateful for this moment right now. And when you speak in the now, it's sort of like manifestation, where you are already telling your mind that it's happening, that your mind has no choice but to catch up to where you are and to make sure that there's shifts happening for you to feel that. By you already presenting that to the universe by saying, I feel relief, then you're going to start feeling that relief in the near future. Just doing that small visualization can really shift your energy and how you're feeling, because it's all about the intention that you're setting for yourself in the moment. You can also listen to frequencies like 432 hertz or 528 hertz. I have practiced doing this a few times, and this is something that I really want to incorporate more and more into my daily life. When I am able to incorporate frequencies, it does really help me feel a lot more grounded and calm with what I'm doing and what I'm going through. When you're in a state of stress, it does help you to just be present with yourself, to be in your body, and it does lift you up a little bit. So it's definitely something I want to incorporate more. And if you're looking for resources, I use Insight Timer personally. They have different meditation tracks, but they also have different frequencies and music that you could use. And it's a really great app that you could download for more resources. Last but not least, practicing micro gratitudes really can make a big shift in your mood. And I'm not talking about doing grand gratitudes like I'm happy for my house and my car. Those things could be micro gratitudes for you. But when you're thinking about the micro gratitudes like I'm grateful for this air that I get to breathe, or the grass that's underneath me that makes me feel grounded, or this sip of water that's nourishing me, that's giving me life, or the sunlight that's hitting my face as I walk and it's providing me with a little bit of warmth, you really feel present with the oneness of the world around you, not just with humanity, but with life in general and the world that we get to live in, and how this earth is enveloping us and protecting us. So when you have these micro gratitudes, it can really shift your mindset a lot because you're present in your own body, you're present overall. And I think the overall message is finding ways to be present with yourself during these hard times, because the more you could feel grounded, present, and safe in your own body, then you can really start to release some of that tension in your body and feel a little bit better about the energetic state that you're in. Ultimately, it's important for us to remember to be kind to ourselves, because there is a lot of things that we're taking on a daily basis. There's a lot of energy changes that are happening in our world right now, and there's truly just no right or wrong emotion that you could feel. Emotions are just emotions, and what you do with that emotion is what's important. And being able to process your emotion without judgment is also important, because then you're able to clear it and not hold on to the baggage that you feel about it. It's just all part of the human experience for us to have different types of experiences. And part of that's going to be, on some days you're going to feel low and you're going to have to just figure out how to pick yourself up. I'm someone who has been not able to fully be present in my own body this year because I've been so focused on launching my business, doing this podcast, going to my part-time job, managing my social calendar, and also living with my partner for the first time. So definitely there's been a lot of things, a lot of moving pieces, and it's important for me to remember to take care of myself in the process. So I'm definitely going to be implementing more of this in my life. And I hope that if you're feeling burnt out or low and depleted, that this episode could help you in giving you some tools to navigate a harder or lower chapter. Thank you so much for joining me on today's podcast episode. It's always a pleasure to come here and chat. This episode's obviously available on Spotify, your favorite streaming platforms, on YouTube. I'm also available on socials, on Instagram and TikTok at aligningwithpurpose.pod and at Julioshi, Juliyyoshi. And if you enjoyed today's podcast episode, it really helps me out if you could like, share, subscribe, review, comment, all the things. And I am super grateful for your support, and I will see you next Thursday. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.